Your thoughts are energy patterns. And when you realize that you're not your thoughts, and that thoughts are tools, what do I need for this job? What do I need to speak to this client, to create this webinar, to make this sales call, whatever it is that you're working on, and you look and you pick the tools.
You are listening to Amplify Your Success Podcast, episode 265. And today I've got a special guest who's going to teach us how to unleash universal laws to attract more clients and revenue. You ready for this? Let's get started. Welcome to the Amplify Your Success Podcast. Get ready to ramp up your revenue, amplify your impact, and make your mark in the world. This is the show for experts, thought leaders, and service professionals who want to shatter their limits and achieve that next level. You're going to find out from other experts and influencers how they made it. Now, let's get amplified. Hey there, inspired entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm so excited for today's episode. It's your host, Melanie Benson, authority amplifier to expert-based business owners. And today I have a guest joining us to talk about the universal laws of attraction, but we're going to talk about them in a very different way. And we talk about the inner game here. We talk about the outer game. We talk about what it takes to become someone who can be highly paid for their expertise. And a lot of times this requires a shift in your attraction factors and how you unleash these universal laws. And so first of all, you have to understand what they are. And secondly, you have to know how to apply them. Because I don't know about you, but I spent many, many years very confused about the law of attraction. And the way I learned it at first felt very ethereal and hard to activate. And when I really learned these universal laws the way our guest today is going to teach them, everything changed. Now, one of the things that you can apply these universal laws to is more clients, being able to attract the right people who are capable of and willing to invest in your services. It will work to attract revenue. You can apply it to pretty much anything, attracting team members, attracting life partners. I mean, I've certainly used it in a lot of different ways. I've used it to buy houses. And another thing that I think we can use these universal laws to help elevate and uplevel our brand. And one of the things that we're doing this year is helping people look at what is it going to take to get booked on really great podcasts and stages that will help you elevate your brand, your message, your authority, your influence, and put you in the right places so that you're attracting more clients, so that you're getting leads, and you're able to transform that visibility into 5- and 6-figure clients. Now, if you'd like to know how these steps work and how to put them together in your business, so you make this year extraordinary firing on all cylinders, then you're going to want to head over to amplifywithmelanie.com, and you'll get invited into my free Amplify Your Authority Facebook group. And with that, I'll also give you access to the 7-step plan to get booked, get leads, and get 5-figure clients. All right, let's get into today's episode. All right, grab your pen, get ready to take notes. We're going to dive into today's episode. Welcome back, Amplifiers. Got a really special guest joining us today. It's Melanie Benson here, host of Amplify Your Success Podcast, and we're talking about how to unleash universal laws to attract more clients and more revenue. I'm joined today by Ed Langan. He's a master mindset coach, law of attraction expert, and psychic channel who helps you get out of your own way and get results by uncovering and releasing limiting and blocking beliefs that are literally stopping you. He teaches you how to use the power of your thoughts and emotions to harness universal laws, creating a powerful success attraction. Ed teaches you how to make and use a vibrational vision that leverages your time and energy to create big momentum and achieve your goals. He's the author of Creating with the Law of Attraction, 10 principles that will change your life and has helped thousands of clients with tools, techniques, and programs to help them transform their lives. He's a featured writer for Star Nations magazine, host of Life Wisdom with Ed Langan, and a spiritual talk show host on Star Nations live stream. And you, Ed, you've been coaching for over 20 years. So I very rarely meet someone who's been in this work as long as I have. So glad to have you on the show today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we are talking about universal laws. And if anybody knows Deepak Chopra, they've probably heard of universal laws. But let's kind of like tune this into our topic today about how universal laws attract more clients and more revenue. What are the universal laws that you are working with right now?
Well, the one that a lot of people are familiar with is the law of attraction. And I think a lot of people have heard about that. And the funny thing about the law of attraction, before the movie The Secret came out, I was teaching workshops about law of attraction, and people would come up to me and say, "That's that dating thing, isn't it?" I'm like, yeah, no.
Different attraction.
Yeah, exactly. So I work with the law of attraction, but I also work with the 7 hermetic principles, which some people are familiar with, some people aren't, and it's by Hermes Trismegistus. And it's the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect, and the principle of gender. And all of those tie in really well with the law of attraction. They're sort of underneath law of attraction. And as you understand those more, you become more focused with the law of attraction and able to manifest more, able to create more.
I'm intrigued. These are some new laws that I've not heard of referred to this way.
Yes.
Well, so I'm thinking about conversations I've had with people over the years, and I've been studying and living in law of attraction and, the power of our vibration since I was a child, actually, but very intentionally since I was in my early 30s. Does this work for everyone, or is there certain people who cannot tap into and unleash these universal laws in their life?
That's a great question. And the answer is everybody can use them. And it's a matter of thinking about and looking into it. So the way I explain this is your life is a mirror. And everything that you're putting out is being reflected back to you. Now, here's the hook. People look at the reflection and try to change it from the reflection rather than changing themselves. And I know you've talked about this because I've heard you talk about this, is about people living in reaction. If you're reacting to what you're seeing in the mirror, you're not in control. You're not creating, you're simply reacting. You're almost like the hamster on the wheel, running, and not seeming to get anywhere. And it's about taking a step back and looking within and figuring out. One of my favorite questions to ask is why? Why is this happening? Why am I getting this? Why am I attracting this? I worked in a retail store, and one morning I walked in and I still had my coat on, my lunch, my briefcase and everything, and a very angry customer came up to me and said, "Blah, blah, blah, blah," and I said, "Well, I'm sorry, sir, over there," etc. I went up the escalator and was heading towards my desk, and I ran into another angry customer. And I'm like, So what I did was I put my stuff in my locker and I went and hid in the bathroom for a couple minutes and said, why am I attracting angry people? What is the mirror reflecting back to me? Am I somewhere inside a little bit perturbed about something? What's going on here? And I figured out it was a rough ride in, and I was sort of swearing at the traffic under my breath, and realized that I'm sending out an angry vibration, and I have to change that. Now, when you understand that it starts with you, then you can change that. If you don't, and you're only reacting to what you're seeing in the mirror, then you don't have control over that. So it's a matter of learning that it's coming from within. It's starting from you.
Hmm. Okay, so let's take this a little bit deeper
Okay.
and let's talk about our thoughts
Good.
and how our thoughts play into this. And I want to bring up something that I often hear from my clients, and that is, why is it that I'm thinking something and, am I going to like manifest everything I'm thinking about? Or they're like, well, I'm really focused on it, like I'm thinking about it and it's not happening. Let's talk about how thoughts play out in all of this.
Okay. So one of the questions that I like to ask people, and sometimes the answer is a little surprising. So I ask people, are you your thoughts, or are you what hears your thoughts?
Mm.
So I'm going to ask you that question, and I know you know the answer. Go ahead.
Well, I know I'm not my thoughts.
Good,
So
good, good.
obviously it's the second.
Correct. And once you understand that you're not your thoughts, and it is surprising to me how many people say, yes, I am my thoughts. That surprises me. But once you understand that you're not your thoughts, and you understand now, when you go to the doctor, and well, hopefully this never happens to anybody, but I know if you've ever been to a sleep lab and they put the shower cap with all the electrodes on your head, or they're doing the brain scan, they're measuring the energy of your thoughts. They're measuring the electricity of it. They're measuring the electromagnetic waves of it. They're measuring, and they understand that thoughts are energy patterns, that thoughts are things. I don't know if your listeners are familiar with the brain waves, the alpha, delta, theta, beta, etc. You can look into that. That's part of it too, the different brain waves. But your thoughts are energy patterns. And when you realize that you're not your thoughts, and that thoughts are tools, what do I need for this job? What do I need to speak to this client, to create this webinar, to make this sales call, whatever it is that you're working on, and you look and you pick the tools. What tools do I need to make myself feel better? What tools do I need to pick me up? What is my self-talk? What tools am I choosing? Am I saying, I can do this, I got this, I can do this, I'm good at this, I understand it, or are you beating yourself up? And when you understand that you're the one who's choosing that, instead of reacting to the mirror, now you have some control.
Yes. I love that. I'm so glad you brought up the kind of the vibrational patterns. The way I learned it, which really stuck with me as a great metaphor, was that we're tapping into different radio stations, right? And each radio station has a different frequency. And that if we think about the thoughts we think all have different frequencies, and we're got to decide what radio station we're tuning into. Is it a country day? Is it a like a hip hop day or a classic day, right? And that always really helps me understand, for me, how controlling my thoughts literally is like changing the station that not only am I listening to, but that's going out into the energetic vortex of our creation and our ability to attract.
Right. So perfect. And what I talk about, I'm going to talk about this in a second because I'm a musician and I talk about choosing the song that you're sending to the universe. Okay. But I just wanted to say one little thing. You talked about controlling your thoughts, and I prefer the word choosing, because controlling sounds a little tight and a little, so you're choosing your thoughts. You want to be gentler with yourself, easier about it, and say, okay, I'm not controlling my thoughts, I'm choosing my thoughts and being a little gentler and a little kinder with myself. So,
and this is why you're the magician on the mindset side, right?
Oh, I think you're pretty magical too.
Thank you. Let's now layer in how emotions factor into it. This, by the way, was a huge, huge breakthrough in my life when I understood the difference between thoughts and how the emotions are impacting this puzzle of universal law and attraction.
Right. So everybody can tell the future. And the way you tell the future is what you're feeling is what you're getting. So when you feel happy, you're getting more of happy. When you feel sad, you're getting more of sad. When you feel angry, right? I talked about when I walked into the store and started running into angry people. So your emotions, now, this is a little woo-woo, but we're going to go there.
All
Your
right, go
emotions,
there.
all right. Your emotions are communication from your higher self to your conscious self. In other words, your emotions are how your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to call it, communicates with you. Because words are squirrely. The word bolt means 5 different things. If you look up the word fresh in the dictionary, there's 11 different definitions for it. And words are the land of the ego, because the ego is in your mind. So can you imagine that conversation between you and your ego about what your soul just said to you? The ego, well, that's not what they meant. They meant it, and now you're spinning and you're running. So your emotions are communication from your higher self, letting you know if you're in alignment or not. And when you simply think of it as whatever I'm feeling, I'm getting more of, that makes it a little easier to work with. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely it does. Let's now take this into our topic for today, which
Okay.
is how the universal laws work in relationship to attracting more clients and more revenue. So
Mm-hmm.
let's bring this thread all the way through. How now do our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions, what has to shift if there's been a lack in the financial side or the client side of our life?
Right, right. Okay. So there's a couple parts to this. So the first part I'm going to answer with a bit of a story.
Mm.
People find out that I teach law of attraction all the time. And occasionally someone will come up to me and say, "You teach law of attraction?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "That doesn't work." And I go, "Okay." And if they'll listen to me, I will tell them exactly what they're doing wrong. And some do and some don't. So I have a question. If you're trying to manifest something, do you have it? And the answer to that is no, you don't have it. Okay? So when you're thinking about your clients, and if you're trying to get them, you don't have them. You have to start with, I already have this. So your focus is on seeing your happy group of clients, seeing them embracing what you do, seeing them happy and joyful, and stop trying and start from, I already have this. Now, earlier we talked about the music. So you want to play the song to the universe of, I already have this. When I teach the workshops and someone talks about they want a new car or a new house or a new job, I say to them, describe to me the new job, or describe to me your house. That's one that a lot of people like. And tell me what's in the kitchen. Tell me what's in. Tell me, and don't tell me about, I'm trying to get to the bank. I'm trying to figure out finances. I'm trying, because that doesn't bring it to you. You have to start with, I already have this.
So it's the feeling it already being present in our life that
Yes,
creates the vibrational state that makes that equal, like there all the energy around us has to equalize to that.
correct.
And so what happens, I know I've done this, I've certainly done this time and again, and I know this happens for other people, is we're focusing on what we don't have.
Right.
And again, like I really love how you shifted me earlier, and I know this is probably part of your magic, is when we are in that, we become aware, it's like, oh my God, I'm doing it again. And we kind of beat ourselves up. So is there a gentler way to come back into alignment than to focus on, again, oh my God, I'm not doing it right, which is what so many of us do.
Right. Right. So how many emotions are there?
Wow. I don't even know the answer to that. A lot. I mean, I know I have chart of vibrational possibility, and I think there's about 12 or 15 on that chart.
Okay, so actually there's two:
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
love and fear.
Mm.
And on the love side, we have all these flavors and all these degrees, and they all feel good. And on the fear side, we have all these flavors and all these degrees, and they all feel bad. Now, when you're on the fear side, you're asking. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing, because we didn't come here to always be in the flow. We came here to ask and to mix it up and to get our hands in the mud and to try things, and that's how we learn and grow and move forward. So when you realize, oh crap, I did it again, you're asking really strongly for understanding, for wisdom, and you won't do that the next time. And if you do, you won't do it as deeply. You won't go down and as far down. So asking is still part of it. So it's not a bad thing. But when you realize you're asking, then you want to get back to feeling good. You want to have some touchstones in your pocket. Put on your favorite music. Sing, dance, go for a walk in nature, meditate, take a nap, call a friend. Do something that brings you back to the joyful feeling, and that allows your energy to flow again. And beating yourself up never helps.
Well said. Well said. Can we just also talk about something? And I was just thinking about, as you're talking just now, that contrast is such an important piece of the human experience, and also learning to manifest better. How do you see contrast, and for anybody who's maybe in a very difficult situation right now, or keeps manifesting things they don't want, what is the purpose of contrast in our life around all this?
That's a great question. And the purpose of contrast is to cause you to ask.
Mm.
But understand that asking and receiving are two different vibrations. So you can't be asking. I need more customers, I need more customers, I need more clients, I need more, and keep doing that and never get the answer. You have to come back over and allow. So that's why we say do something that makes you feel good. So the contrast helps everybody move forward. It's sort of the magic formula once you realize and stop fighting with what is. So this goes back to what we were talking about reacting to the mirror. When you understand that that's contrast, and you start asking, what is this showing me? What is this teaching me? Where is my energy? Where is my vibration? Now you're starting to get control of it. Now you're starting to be able to create rather than just reacting.
Love that. Understanding the importance of contrast was a huge game changer for me. And again, this is not about perfection. I don't think any of us do this perfectly, but recognizing there is a point to the contrast. And rather than like digging or like pitching a tent and like deciding to camp there or live there, it's just recognizing, oh, okay, so this is information, and using the power of the ask, as you're just talking about. I'm also curious where meditation fits in all of this.
Meditation is a wonderful tool to help you quiet your mind. When I was 19 years old and started my spiritual journey and my collective business journey, I had a hurricane going on in my head all the time. And someone suggested to me that I meditate, and obviously back then I was not very good at it. If I had a 3-4 seconds of silence, that was a good thing. But I continued to do that, and it continued up until, and it's been a long number of years that I've been meditating, but my mind is quiet now. So you want to think of meditation as a marathon, not a sprint. It's not a coincidence that half of the world meditates and our half of the world is just learning about meditation, but medical people are talking about it, yoga people, Reiki people. There's numerous benefits from meditating, and quieting your mind so that you can start choosing your thoughts and directing them is one of the benefits of meditation.
Yeah. A meditation is hard for me still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know people who like can just drop right in, and I do practice meditation, but for me, I had to make peace with not doing meditation perfectly,
Hmm.
but just to create the habit of being still and quiet and just, again, like allowing my thoughts to become quiet and noticing like the chatter that
Right,
constantly wants
right,
to erupt. So
right.
I started practicing a little bit of mantras to help move my mind back into a more quiet space. But yeah,
Good.
it was my first meditation teacher was like, yeah, meditation is not an easy one for you, is it? So I was like, thank you for not making me wrong.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So I have a question for you, and I'll make the story really short because I know we're
sure.
getting close on the time. But when in a plant's life is it perfect? When it sprouts, when it makes a flower, when it goes to seed, when is it perfect?
In all of it.
Correct. So
Yeah.
now the next question is, when are you perfect?
Never.
Always,
Oh,
always, always,
okay.
always.
I answered that
Right?
the backwards. That's what I meant.
That's okay. Always.
Meaning,
And
like,
that,
I don't really believe that perfection exists. Like, my whole thing has been to release needing to be perfect. So that's where I was going with that.
gotcha. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. But we want to remind you that you're always perfect and always have been and always will be
Uh,
perfect.
yeah. And as you're listening in, that message is for you too.
Yes.
Like, you are perfect already. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. There are ways that we can enhance our experience. It's just what I
Yes.
think where you're going. And we have tools that we share here in Amplify Success to do that. But I love that you brought that message to me and we're sharing that with our listeners because that might be the first time someone's heard that in a while, if ever.
Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you. Oh, I'm loving this so much, Ed, and I know I am a student of law of attraction, of understanding vibrational alignment, which I think are different, by the way. And I would love if you could share a resource or a first step if somebody would like to go deeper into shifting their vibrational alignment with income and prosperity.
Sure. Sure. So on my website, there are some free meditations that you can start with there. There's also a free 10 mindset hacks to help with that. And you can also read the first, I think, 3 chapters of my book on the website. So there are some resources there for you to do that.
And it's at edwardlangan.com.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
And we will link that up in the show notes. And I was particularly excited to see Mindset Shift 10 Mindset Hacks to Break Through Your Income Plateau there, edwardlangan.com/mindset. So I'll link that up as well. And so if you're new to the idea of mindset and vibrational alignment, what I want you to know is you don't have to be what Ed and I jokingly refer to as woo woo. This is not a woo woo thing. This is a science thing. Like, this
Yeah.
is how science meets the reality we want to create. And that's why I love bringing guests who can speak to this because we can choose better thoughts, which give us a better experience, which help us achieve better results. And Ed, you've been great at bringing that back to us. So this is the time in the conversation that I like to turn the tables a little bit and get a little bit personal with you. I know you've been on
Sure.
a journey for quite some time, like I have. I would
Yes.
imagine somewhere along the line, you've had to do something really bold to
Yep.
be able to be where you are in your business and your success today. Would you share with us what that is?
Yes. Yes. I worked in retail for well over 30 years. I worked in high-end retail, and one day I just said, "That's it. I'm tired of being a part-time coach. I'm tired of being an evening coach, whatever you want to call it," and I quit. And my wife was not working at the time, and she's
Mm.
like, "You did what?" I was like, "Yep, I quit." And it's been 4 or 5 years now that I've been full time, and there's been no looking back. And it's the best choice that I ever made. But at the time, it was one of those oh my God moments. But that's what we did.
Yeah, that's a great example of go all in.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
really believe it? If you do, then put up or shut up.
Yeah.
So,
So great example. What is one thing you wish you would have done sooner?
Wow. Um, Now, our friend Cloris Kiley does some wonderful stuff about influencer marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her 8 years ago and did nothing with her till about a year ago. And I should have, and again, we say don't should on yourself, but because I wasn't in alignment and I wasn't ready. But sometimes I think about that and say if I had gotten working with her back then, the retail experience probably would have ended a whole lot sooner. But that's okay. It's part of my path, and I'm happy with it.
I love it. Can we unpack that a little bit more? Because there's something very rich in that you just
Okay,
shared.
sure.
I can't tell you how many people join one of my programs and say, "Why did I wait so long?" Like I've known
Right,
you for a year, or some people have said like 11 years, right? So
right,
there's been a
right.
whole range.
Yep.
And there becomes a moment when it's like we know we need to do something different and we invite someone in to support us. For you, what is better now that you invested in getting some guidance from a coach and a mentor around building your influence or your platforms or whatever that was for you?
So I've been on lots of podcasts, which I love to do. This is just so much fun. And before I worked with Cloris, I was like, I refer to myself as a light worker in the dark. Nobody is seeing me. Nobody's hearing me. I'm putting my posts out. I'm giving away free content. I'm doing all that, and nobody's noticing me. And so I looked back at what Cloris did about, influencers and getting on podcasts, and that's, but the desire was there, the drive was there, the asking, that really strong asking was there when maybe 7 years ago it really wasn't. So it's not that I wasn't on my path because I always was. It's just I wish I had figured it out earlier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there's a lot of factors where maybe we're not 100% committed to the outcome yet, or uh, there's a part of us that's not ready,
Yep.
or we have to wait until we're so frustrated we're willing to do something different. Like, there's a lot of pieces.
Right.
But what I
Right.
heard you talking about, which we often refer to here, is the best kept secret.
Yes.
Feeling rather
Yes.
invisible, even though you're so good at what you do. And so congratulations on taking that bold leap, because I imagine that was a bit of a bold leap as well.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that you're out there sharing your message in a bigger way. And I just want to bring this home for the listeners is there is nothing valuable about being a best kept secret. You
Mhm.
suffer, your potential clients suffer, and there is something really extraordinary about stepping in and allowing someone to help you really shape how you can bring your message out in a bigger way and find the most aligned path for you. If you don't have that yet, you absolutely want to find a coach and a mentor or join a program, Amplify Your Circle, or as Ed was mentioning, my friend Cloris does that as well. There are a lot of people that can help you, but choose someone and get out there in a bigger way. Because now look, Ed's here right on Amplify Your Success Podcast because he said yes and stepped into that. So Ed, thank you so much. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
This was wonderful. I love to do it. Choose your thoughts. Don't give your power away by letting someone else choose your thoughts for you. Choose your thoughts. They're tools. For this job, what thoughts do I need? And work from there. And don't beat yourself up. Nobody's perfect. Everybody is perfect. And we're all finding our way together. And be easy about this. Be easy about yourself.
Well said. Thank you so much, Ed.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This was fun.
Thanks for tuning in today, Amplifier. Be sure to join us right now in the Amplify Your Authority community at authorityamplifiers.com, and I'll share my 7 proven tips to be a highly paid expert that stands out in a crowded market. Plus, we're going to keep this conversation going, and I want to hear from you how you're going to amplify your authority and make a greater impact. Before you go, please take a minute to give our show and our guests some love over on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe, rate, and review. Leave your full name and I'll spotlight you and your authority on social media.